Okay. We are right online.
All right. Well, welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. This is I like that. All right. Welcome everyone to the meeting of the Solano County Democratic Central Committee for the month of July. I'm going to go ahead and call this meeting to order. It looks like we have a quorum close to getting there. All right. Again, as we announced before, if you are a voting member of our Central Committee, please identify yourself by putting a V in front of your name. If you're an alternate and your person is not here, please identify yourself with a V, as you will be the one voting today. If both you and your if the voting member and their alternate are here, you guys need to decide amongst the two who will be voting in tonight's meeting. Okay. I want to, sorry about that. I want to recognize any guests that we may have here tonight. Please raise your hand and introduce yourself. Let's see. I don't see any guests, or they haven't identified themselves. Adam, go ahead and you'll be speaking.
Yeah, my name's Adam Seiden. Good to see everybody. I'm not going into what I'm talking about right now. I'm just saying my name. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, welcome, Adam. Welcome, Adam. We appreciate you being here, and we'll move swiftly. Anybody else that's new or coming to the committee? I don't see any other hands raised. All right. Can we go ahead and project the land acknowledgement?
There we go.
All right, you'll have to scroll too because my screen is not capturing it all. Land acknowledgement. We pause.
Sorry.
It's okay. Land acknowledgement. We pause to acknowledge that Solano County Democratic Central Committee of the Democratic Party sits on the land of the Miwok and Patois people. We remember their continued connection to this region and give thanks to them for allowing us to live, work, learn, and play in their traditional homeland. We offer our respect to their elders and the Miwok and the Piwa people of the past and present. All right. Next slide. All right, now the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic
for which it
for which it
stands,
stands,
one
nation,
under
God,
indivisible, with liberty
and justice
for all. Someday.
All right. Thank you, everyone. All right. Moving forward, we would like to go ahead and get the approval of the minutes and agenda for tonight. Go ahead, Lynette.
I believe you wanted to make a...
Yes, Lynette's going to make the motion.
So I'm on my computer thing. I'm not sure if it's working.
Lynette, we can barely hear you. Lynette?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, so I'd like to move the election of officers right after the approval of the agenda and right after the minutes. So the first order of business, and then once the president is elected, or the chair is elected, then she or he will run the rest of the elections. And I'm recommending that it is done by a roll call because we have to have transparency of the vote.
Okay, do we have a second with the amendment?
I would disagree with making whoever is the chair to run the meeting right now, just because Tiffany has an understanding and it's not as easy to do it on Zoom if it's kind of brand new for you. Other than that, I can approve the motion as stated.
Okay, so the amendment is basically to have Tiffany run the whole meeting, no matter who the chair is.
I think that makes sense when it's a Zoom.
Okay,
and
I'm
then
good with that. I'm good
okay.
with that. Thanks. I just want to make sure I heard exactly what you said.
Okay. Do we have a second? You said, I'm sorry, Monica, you would second that, or do we have any other
No,
discussion?
yeah, I would second it because the maker of the motion and I agreed on how to deal with the who's going to run the meeting right now.
Okay. All right. Let's go for seeing no other objections. Let's go for a poll to approve the agenda for July 27th with the modification to move the election of the executive board to the top. The poll has been launched. Please go ahead and cast your votes. Lynette, can you mute yourself? There's a lot of background noise. Thank you. And lower your hand unless you have a question. I'm sorry, Don, your hand is up.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask that we add approving insurance to the agenda, but I wasn't seen in time.
As the seconder, I would agree with that.
Can we not just add that in the report for the headquarters, because we have like 3 motions in there already?
Yeah.
Are you okay with that?
Are you okay with that,
Sounds
Don?
There's gonna be,
Okay.
If that's what it takes, sure.
Okay. Thank you for your flexibility. Has everybody voted?
hold on.
One more minute. Okay, no worries.
Okay. Sorry.
It's okay.
There we go. Agenda
All right. The agenda passes with the modified improvements. All right. Thank you all. Next, approval of the June 22nd minutes. All of those were emailed to everybody. So I'll entertain a motion to approve the June 22nd amendment, minutes.
So moved.
I would move to approve the minutes with the correction of Kelly Welsh's name up near the top
Thank
on the
you.
first page.
Thank you, Paula. Was that a second I heard from Steve Young?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. It has been moved and seconded. We can go ahead and launch the poll for that so we can all vote. A few more minutes for those that are just logging in. If you are a voting member of the Central Committee, please identify yourself by putting a V in front of your name. And then we should be almost ready to see the poll results. Right. Our minutes are approved with the correction to Kelly Welsh's name. Thank you very much. All right. Moving forward to new business, election of our executive board. So I will turn this portion over to Lynette for some rules and guidelines so that we can move accordingly and swiftly.
Hi, you
Lynette,
guys.
are you ready?
Hold on 1 second. Yeah. I'm going to step outside because I'm at a restaurant. So hold on. Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes, we can.
Hold on. Okay. Can you guys hear me? Hello?
Yes, we can. Yeah, we can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
Okay.
can.
I keep waiting for somebody to say something. Okay. So the floor is now
We've been
open
saying
for the for chair, and I'd like to nominate Tiffany.
I thought you were going to go over the rules, Lynette. That's what Tiffany said.
Yeah.
I didn't hear that
Go-
part. Okay.
Go over the
so
process
these
for
are
them.
the,
Yes, okay.
okay. Thank you. Because like I said, I'm out at dinner, so I had to step out where it was a lot quieter. Okay, so these are the rules. Anybody, you can self-nominate, or you can be nominated by anybody that is elected or their alternate. Once we have exhausted those people that would like to serve or be nominated for that position, we vote for each one separately. You must have 50% plus one to be elected. If there's more than 3 people, we run the ballot until we get the 50% plus 1. That's per our bylaws. It's a majority, not a plurality. We need to do a roll call vote for each of the contested races based on our bylaws. If there's only one candidate for the position, we can move to approve by acclamation, again, per our bylaws. Any questions?
Are there any questions, everyone? I don't see any hands raised. I'm trying to toggle the screen. All right. I don't see any questions or hands raised. So we will go to the first office of chair. Any nominations from the floor for chair?
So I'm not raising my hand, but this
Raise
is
your
Lynette.
hand. Steve Young.
Hold on.
Hold on, Lynette. Steve had his hand up.
I'd like to nominate
Steve Young,
Vernil.
go ahead.
I'd like to nominate Vernil.
Okay. Any other nominations? Lynette?
And I'd like to nominate Tiffany.
All right. Bridgette?
I'd like to nominate Don Lowry.
Okay. And are there any other nominations for chair? And if you've already nominated somebody, could you put your hand down? I have the new Zoom, so it's kind of still jumping around. All right. And thank you for doing the tally sheet for us. Monica, oh, your hand's not up, that's my hand. All right, so we have 3 candidates for chair. First is Vernil Broomfield. Second is me, Tiffany Jones. Third is Don Lowry.
Okay.
And give us just a second, you guys, so we can get this all loaded into a poll. And this will be a roll call vote, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so it doesn't need to be in a poll, but
Not a
we just
poll.
need to call the names.
Okay. So this is what I'm going to do, since I don't have a secretary with me right now, and my vice chair is not,
No, I'm
not
available
stationary.
now. I'm home. I'm home now. I'm
Oh,
available.
okay. Oh, okay. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't see. If you will go ahead and raise your hand for the person whose name is called so we can get that vote tally, that's how we'll do it. Okay? So all those in favor of
Wait,
Vernil.
Tiffany,
I'm sorry, go
Tiffany,
ahead.
a
I can't
roll
hear.
call- Sorry, but a roll call vote means we go down the roll and we ask each person.
The count
That is
though.
Right.
That is
Yeah.
correct.
That's correct. That's correct. I was saying if we can raise your hand while we
No.
do it, so it'd be easy to count to.
No,
No?
so he'll say Lynette Henley and I'll say who I'm voting for.
Okay. I'm flexible, y'all. Not a problem. All right. So let's do our first candidate, Vernil Broomfield. I'll do yours, Vernil, since you've been nominated. All right.
Hold on, Tiffany. Tiffany, you don't have to do anything. You just call each person's name and they tell you who they're voting for.
Okay. So the first person on my screen is the Information Resource Officer, Tom Bilbo.
Vernil.
Okay. Second person on my list is Monica Brown.
Monica, you're muted.
Can't hear you, Monica. You're muted.
And you're still muted.
You're still muted. There you go.
Normally, if you just click the space bar, it's supposed to work. I am supporting Vernil. Thank you all.
Okay. Thank
I'm
you.
watching.
Miguel.
I'm watching CNN.
Oh, okay. Miguel Castillo.
Tiffany.
Don Lowry.
I guess I should vote for myself.
Okay. Steve Federley.
I vote for Don Lowry.
Bridget Hunley.
Unmute. I vote for Don Lowry.
Okay. John Fox.
Tiffany.
Paula Bauer.
Don.
Okay. Steve Quinlan.
Abstain.
Okay. Carrie Birdseye.
Don Lowry.
Okay. Cassandra James.
Tiffany Jones.
Ian Arnold.
Don Lowry.
And Karen Rogers.
Tiffany Jones.
Steve Young. Can somebody please mute your mic?
Don, but I think Tom put Ian's name next to abstain when it should be next to Don's.
No,
Thank you for that.
it was Steve Young. I'm sorry, Steve. Who did you vote for? I didn't catch the name.
Don Lowry.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Let's see. Corey Penrose.
Tiffany Jones.
Jeannie White.
Don Lowry.
Hold on, if you could, please, let me catch up.
Oh, so, okay. Let me know if I'm going too
And
fast.
so, Corey, you were Tiffany?
Correct, yes.
Okay.
And then Jeannie was for Don Lowry. All right. And next on my list is Pat Toth Smith.
Don Lowry.
Thank you. Dave McCollum.
Tiffany Jones.
Sorry, my screen jumped, you guys. Let me see. Matthew Finkelstein.
Don Lowry.
Thank you. Michelle Pellegrin.
Don Lowry.
Thank you. Alexander Matthias.
Tiffany Jones.
Calvin Harrell. Calvin Harrell. Jeannie, can you mute your mic, please? We're picking up a lot of what's going on in your background.
I
Thank you.
apologize. I was on mute. Tiffany Jones.
Okay. Vernil Broomfield. Vernil.
Vernil, vote for myself.
And then make sure I got everybody. Oh, me. Vote for myself. All right, Tom. Make sure you have the correct numbers.
This is Lynette Henley. I was not called and I vote for Tiffany Jones.
Oh, sorry. Thank you, Lynette. Screen jumped around. All right. So I just want to do a comparison. Information resource officer. So for Vernil Broomfield, I calculated 3 votes.
I wasn't planning on doing this.
Yes, that's the votes I have too. Yeah.
Okay. And for Don Lowry, I have 11 votes.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. And then for myself, I have 10 votes, if that's correct.
That's correct.
Yes.
And 1 abstention.
And 1 abstention.
Yes.
So now you have
Okay.
to do a second vote because you don't have 50% plus 1 of the total votes cast. So now you have to do a runoff between Don and Tiffany.
Okay.
Did y'all hear that?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So I'll go back down the screen in the order that I see. Again, Tom Bilbo.
So, Tiffany, how about this? Now I have all the names. And we just read the names, just to make sure they're in the same order, so I can count the cast.
I can.
Or count the.
Well, I can barely see the screen that you're projecting. That's the part of the issue. I'm like, I can't see it. It's too small. So if you want to, yeah, can you make it a little bigger?
Yeah.
My eyes. A little bigger. A little bigger.
Oh, girl. Should I get the James Webb?
That's actually perfect.
Oh.
And she's still
All
young.
right. I just look young. I'm not as young as y'all think I am. I lie about my age all the time. I say I'm 21. That's the running joke. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started with the runoff. All right, Tom Bilbo, first name on my screen. Who are you voting for?
Don Lowry.
Thank you. Monica Brown.
Don Lowry.
Thank you. Miguel Castillo.
Tiffany.
Thank you. Don Lowry.
Don Lowry.
Wait a second.
Thank you. I'm sorry, we're in the middle of a vote. Steve Federley.
Don Lowry.
Thank you, sir. Bridget Hunley.
Don Lowry.
Thank you, ma'am. John Fox.
Don.
Okay. Paula Bauer.
Don Lowry.
Thank you. Steve Quinlan.
Abstain.
Thank you. Lynette Henley.
Excuse me, Tiffany Jones.
Thank you. Carrie Birdseye.
Don Lowry.
Thank you. Cassandra James.
Tiffany Jones.
Thank you. Ian Arnold.
Don Lowry.
Okay, sorry. Karen Rogers.
Tiffany Jones.
Thank you. And hold on, my screen jumped, y'all. Give me a second.
Next one is Steve Young.
Steve Young.
Don Lowry.
Thank you. Corey Penrose.
Tiffany Jones.
Thank you, sir. Jeannie White.
Don Lowry.
Thank you. Pat Toth Smith.
Don Lowry.
Thank you. Dave McCullum.
Tiffany Jones.
Thank you. Sorry. Matthew Fickelstein.
Don Lowry.
Tom, I already got your vote, Tom, sorry. Michelle Pellegrin.
Don Lowry.
Thank you. Alexander Matthias.
Tiffany Jones.
And then Vernil Broomfield.
Calvin Harold was next.
Oh, Calvin, I'm sorry. I don't see him on here.
You don't give me any love.
Go ahead, Calvin.
I will vote.
Sorry, my screen keeps jumping.
I will vote for Tiffany
Thank you.
Jones. Thank you.
Thank you. And then I think I called Vernil, right?
Yeah, but she hasn't voted.
Vernil, your vote?
I'm sorry, I was on mute. Tiffany.
All right, and then mine is the last vote, myself. All right, perfect. All right, let's compare and contrast.
10 and 11.
I have 14 for Don, and then I have 10 for me.
And one abstention.
And one
That takes care
abstention,
of
sorry.
it. The abstention doesn't count. There's 14 and 10 is 24. So Don is elected.
Yes. Congratulations, Mr. Lowry.
Congratulations. Yes.
You can help by helping me count the hands today, since you've been with us. Okay. Count the hands of the vote. All right.
Yes. Yes.
Okay,
Next office.
Thank you, everyone.
You're welcome.
So do you want to do Southern or Northern Vice Chair?
Let's do Northern first. Going somewhat of order. All right. So we are taking nominations for Northern Vice Chair. And so just as a reminder, the Northern Vice Chair needs to reside in the northernmost portion of this county, being the cities of either Vacaville, Rio Vista, and Fairfield. Cordelia, Sassoon. Okay, those cities encompass northern. So any nominations from the floor? I'm sorry, can please just hold on a second to get through this. Any nominations for Northern Vice Chair? Please indicate with your raised hand. Jeannie, there you go. You popped up all of a sudden. I like it. You're muted, sweetie.
Thank you. I would like to nominate Karen Rogers.
Okay. Any other names? I would like to nominate Vernil Broomfield. Any other nominations? Jeannie, you have another one? You can only do one nomination. Your hand's still up. Thank you. All right. Seeing no other nominations for Northern Vice Chair, we will continue with the order that we had in the beginning from my screen. So we will, I'm sorry, Tom, let me know when you're ready.
I'm just trying to get these
It's okay.
Right. All right, and then, oh, I'm sorry, Lynette. I called you Lynette Jones. Then Lynette, you had Lynette earlier in the process before.
Yeah, she jumped around on my screen, so I apologize.
I think someone in the chat wanted to make a nomination.
They need to speak it.
Can alternate make recommendations?
Yeah, that's what I was asking.
Yeah, hurry up, get a name in.
Oh, it was for Vernil Brumfield, but someone already did
okay.
it.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Wanda, I didn't see you in the chat. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
All right. No other nominations for Northern Vice Chair. So we have Karen Rogers and Vernil Broomfield. Okay. We'll proceed with the roll call vote. Tom Bilbo.
Vernil?
I didn't hear you. Vernil, okay.
Vernil.
Monica Brown.
Vernil.
Miguel Castillo.
Vernil.
Don Lowry.
Karen.
Steve Federley.
Karen.
Bridget Hunley.
Karen.
John Fox.
Vernil.
Paula Bauer.
Vernil.
Steve Quinlan.
Abstain.
Thank you. Lynette Henley. Lynette. Lynette Henley. Oh, she put something in the chat. What is yes? What is that?
She was
That was
answering
the
Wanda.
alternate could vote, or the alternate could make a nomination.
Oh, okay. Well, okay, we'll skip her. All right. Carrie Birdseye.
Vernil.
Cassandra James.
Vernil Brumfield.
Ian Arnold.
Vernil Brumfield.
Oops, sorry. Karen Rogers.
Karen.
Okay. Steve Young.
Vernil.
Corey Penrose.
Karen Rogers.
Jeannie White.
Karen Rogers.
Thank you. Pat Toth Smith.
Vernil.
Dave McCullum.
Karen Rogers.
Thank you. Matthew Finkelstein.
Vernil Brumfeld.
Thank you. Michelle Pellegrin.
Karen Rogers.
Thank you. Alex Matthias.
Matthew's vote went to the wrong place.
Thank you for catching that, Monica.
Oh, I was
Matthew's voting for Vernil.
Yeah, got it. Thank you.
This is Alex. My vote is for Vernil Brumfield.
Thank you. Calvin Harrell.
Ms. Brunfield, please.
Thank you. Vernil Brumfield.
Vernil.
Okay. And then me, I vote for Vernil as well. Okay, so let's. Yeah, Vernil voted for herself, and I voted for Vernil. Yes.
Oh.
All right. So for the Northern Vice Chair, I have Karen Rogers with 8 votes. And for Vernil, for Northern Vice Chair, I have 15 plus 1 abstention and 1 no vote.
Yep.
All right. Congratulations to our Northern Vice Chair returning for a second term, Ms. Vernil Brumfield.
Thank you.
All right. And thank you so much, Karen Rogers, for accepting the challenge as well. Look forward to it. All right. Next, we have, and I'll pause for a second. All right. Next, we have Southern Vice Chair. And again, the Southern Vice Chair must reside in the southernmost region of this county, which encompasses the fabulous cities of Benicia and Vallejo, right? So taking nominations from the floor for Southern Vice Chair, I see one hand up on my screen. Steve Young, go ahead.
I'd like to nominate yourself, Tiffany.
Okay, thank you. I accept the nomination. Any other nominations for Southern Vice Chair? 2 users jumped on the call. If you could please change your name so we can identify you. Steve, do you have another question or something? Your hand's still up. Okay. All right. Any other nominations for Southern Vice Chair? We have myself going once, going twice, 3 times. Yes, Monica.
I waited till you had the third one, which means that nominations are closed. Since nominations are closed, I move by acclamation that we accept Tiffany Jones as the Southern Vice Chair.
Second.
I second that.
Paula's hand was up. Okay, thank you.
It was to make the same motion, so I seconded, or I'll vote in favor of it and lower my hand.
Second.
Thank you. I want to give people an opportunity to jump in. You know, we have these late Zoom things, the delay. All right. So the Southern Vice Chair remains myself. Thank you all again for your vote of confidence. I look forward to continuing to serve you all in the new year. Okay. All right. Our next position is treasurer. And again, our treasurer handles all the financials for us. And so I saw some hands that went up immediately. So let me go in the order of which I saw, which was, I believe it was Monica, and then I saw Carrie.
I nominate Paula. I'm sorry, Paula Bauer. I'm combining your names to make that as treasurer.
Okay, thank you. Any other nominations for treasurer? All right, going once. Treasurer, going twice. 3 times.
I move for acclamation.
Second.
Second.
Okay.
Can't get any volume.
It's been moved and seconded to, I'm sorry, if you could please, whoever this Zoom user is, could you please mute your mic? Thank you. All right, it has been moved and seconded to approve Paula Bauer for the position of treasurer by acclamation. Congratulations, Paula. Welcome to the club again.
Point
All
of
right.
personal privilege, but I'm not sure that I'm saying that correctly. I am not happy with somebody by name using the name Zoom user. I would like everything to be open and transparent. If that person refuses to identify themselves, I would ask through the chair that is acting tonight that that person be removed from the Zoom call.
Yeah, I have asked them what their name is in chat, but I have not gotten anything.
And I've also asked them to identify themselves upon entry into the room. So Zoom user, could you please identify yourself? Otherwise, we will have to remove you for full transparency purposes. Thank you. And if you need help changing your name, we could do that.
Respectfully, I think that there's a standing rule, and that rule is not followed. That person, when they entered the room, should have been removed from the meeting until.
Well, we gave an opportunity, and so I see that the Zoom user's camera is on. They might be having some technical issues. Tom, can you just put them in the waiting room and still try to communicate with them? Thank you.
Yep.
All right. Moving right along. All right, so who are we looking at now? Secretary, one of the most important jobs is to keep us moving and informed. So we're going for the position of secretary. Any nominations from the floor for the position of secretary? Any hands? All right, I see no hand. Okay, Don, nomination?
Since he did it once before, I'll nominate Ian Arnold.
Okay, Bridget, you have a name?
Oh, I was going to self-nominate if no one else was going to do it, but I will support Ian happily if he wants to do it.
Okay. Ian, do you accept the nomination? Let me ask that.
I would have to respectfully decline. I just don't have the bandwidth this year.
Okay. So Ian's name is withdrawn. I should have asked that first, sorry. Bridget?
All right, I'll self-nominate for it then.
Okay. Steve Young, I saw that your hand was
Nobody else
up.
wants to do it. Only if nobody else wants to do it.
No, I was just going to nominate Bridget.
Okay. Are there any other nominations for secretary? Corey Penrose?
Well, I'll do it if nobody else wants to. I oftentimes take minutes for the various organizations I'm part of. I'd be happy to accept the nomination for this if you want.
Okay. Okay, that's fine. I'm okay with it. All right. So far I have Bridget Hunley and Corey Penrose for the
I'll
office of
respectfully
secretary.
decline so that Corey can take it if he wants to.
Okay, so now we have Bridget removing herself. All right. Any other nominations for secretary? Going once? Going twice? 3 times? Okay, so we'll need a motion to approve Corey Penrose as secretary by acclamation.
So moved. This is Vernil.
I'll second, Ian.
Okay, so the person that made the motion I caught was Tom Bilbo, and it was seconded by Vernil, I heard, because then everybody else jumped in. Okay, so it has been moved and seconded by Tom Bilbo and Vernil that we accept the nomination for Corey Penrose as secretary by acclamation. Congratulations, Corey, and welcome to the executive board.
Is it really congratulations or is it more like condolences?
A little bit of both, but we're gonna smooth it over. Congratulations, Corey. We won't kill you.
Thomas is on the inside. He shouldn't ask that question.
I know.
All right, our next position is parliamentarian. Bridget, is your hand up for that position?
Oh, sorry, I just need to lower my hand here.
Okay, yeah, y'all make sure y'all lower your hands because I'll start calling on you and doing all kind of stuff. All right, we are opening nominations for, we're almost done, y'all. You're holding on, you're doing very, very, very well. We are going to open up nominations for parliamentarian. Please raise your hand for nominations from the floor for parliamentarian. I'll go. I nominate Lynette Henley. Any other names for parliamentarian? Go ahead. I had Dawn first and then Monica.
I was going to nominate Monica for parliamentarian.
Okay.
Love you, Dawn, but no.
Okay, Monica respectfully declines, but I saw that your hand was up, Monica.
I'd like to nominate Michelle Pellegrin.
We're almost done, y'all. You hold on.
No, I don't think so, but thanks, Monica.
Okay.
Okay, so Michelle Pellegrin's name has been withdrawn as a nominee. All right, are there any other nominations? Michelle, your hand is up, or I saw a thumb up. I don't know what that was.
Oh, well, I nominate Anna Patero.
I don't see Anna in the room.
She's not.
She's my alternate, so she didn't come tonight.
Okay. But I think she has to be here to accept the nomination, if I'm not mistaken. That's how I remember it working before. All right, so seeing no other nominations for parliamentarian, we're going to go ahead and, if I can get a motion to nominate approval of Lynette Henley to continue on as our parliamentarian.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. All right, it's been moved by Miguel and seconded by, I didn't catch that one.
Ian.
Thank you, Ian. So it's been moved and seconded by Miguel Castillo and Ian Arnold that Lynette Henley continue on as our parliamentarian by acclamation. All right. Thank you and congratulations again, Lynette. All right. And our last person is our information resource officer. And we will go ahead, and I see hands went up, so give me a second so I can. All right, so I saw Carrie Birdseye's hand up first for nominations for our information resource officer. Go ahead.
Yes, I nominate Thomas Bilbo since he's been doing such a grand job this past year.
Okay.
I accept.
All the other hands went down. Okay, perfect. Carrie, your hand's still up, sweetie, if you can lower it for me. Thank you. Are there any other nominations for information resource officer?
Oh, no one else wants to do this?
Right, seeing no other hands being raised. Congratulations again, Tom. You have been doing a wonderful job helping us navigate this through COVID and just the whole information thing. So we really appreciate it. Congratulations to you. You have been elected via acclamation. And Carrie, your hands back up.
Yeah, because did we move for acclamation? I'll make that motion.
Oh, I'm sorry. I jumped ahead. so happy.
I'll second.
All right, let me do a redo. Yes, it's been moved and seconded that we go ahead and accept Tom Bilbo to continue on as our information resource officer by acclamation. I'm sorry, I got excited because we moving through the agenda so fast. All right. Congratulations to the entire newly elected executive board. Look forward to continuing to work with you all as we turn and keep Solano blue, all of Solano blue. All right, so we still have a heavy agenda. I'm gonna ask that you all just kind of hang on while we do a shift. So I'll still, for those of you that came in late, there was a recommendation because we're still in the Zoom platform. Normally after we do officer elections, the newly elected chair would normally take over, but because we're in a Zoom environment, the committee wanted me to continue to run the meeting for this evening. So I hope that, you guys can bear with me while I continue to move us through this agenda as swiftly as possible. So the next order of business under new business is going to be a report on our headquarters. And we have had a committee team meeting in regards to that. So Bridget Hunley will be giving that report along with Don Lowry for additional support. And this is a action item for tonight for the committee. Bridget or Don, go ahead.
Hey, Don, do you want to go ahead since you're our new chair?
Yeah, I guess so. Based on the feedback we've gotten from different people and the search that we did, there are two potential headquarters being recommended. The first one is in Vallejo at 600 Marin Street. As you can see, it's downtown, right near the waterfront, just off of Sonoma Boulevard. Jump to the next slide. Maybe we can jump to the next slide. And for those of you who are not familiar with the exterior of the building, there it is. And then we have, on the following slide, we have a floor plan of the suite that's available. And a few of the pictures that the landlord provided us to give you a sense of the space. It looks like it's got one fairly large meeting room, at least a semi-private office, its own bathroom, and a sink and countertop space that we could use as a kitchenette. Plus, my understanding from Tom is that we would be able to use the central atrium for larger events as needed. This is upstairs, but there is, my understanding, an elevator for access, so it is ADA accessible.
And also this is a ADA bathroom as well. So there's this bathroom plus this bathroom, and this is a bathroom, but it is not ADA.
Okay. And the second space is in Fairfield, Hilborn Road, right off the Waterman Boulevard exit next to the Fairfield Sassoon District offices. And we can jump to the next. It's one of Weissman's Class A buildings with all the customary bells and whistles in it, including, although we're on the first floor, it does have an elevator as well. And this is a few shots of the suite we're looking at, Suite 104, plus a floor plan. It's got multiple small offices, a large working space, an open area, and it also has a sink and countertops that we could use as a kitchenette space. So there's plenty of storage available in this space. And well, I haven't seen the Vallejo space. I know in this one that the landlord, the building manager, makes a point of having the building cleaned several times a day and provides hand sanitizer dispensers and masks, face masks, cubbies available for guests to come in so that they can protect themselves against COVID. And cleaning the space is part of the rental agreement, along with everything, all utilities except for internet access. And then when we move to the estimate, we can go over the numbers.
You want this slide, Tom?
Yeah. This is a very high-level breakdown, allowing for both rental and our estimates of utilities and incidentals, the costs of the spaces, and then our pledge support that we've received from various contributors, and the remaining cost for these places as of yesterday. I understand that additional commitments have been offered up to support those headquarters today, but we can discuss those moving on. And then, so the detail sheet gives you more of the breakdown on the estimate of what our understanding of the costs involved would be. The Vallejo headquarters would be required to pay for electric. The Fairfield headquarters would be required to pay for internet. And then we've already had various donors pledging to support the different headquarters, and these were the amounts as I know them, again, as of last night. So that is where we.
Don?
Yes.
Does the $750 from the clubs include the $250 that the Solano Stonewall did?
Yeah, that's the $250 a month was my understanding.
Yes. Okay, I just want to make sure.
Leo.
Okay, I would, yeah. Please remember to raise your hand so I can catch you if you want to make a comment or have a comment. Steve, well, actually, Don, are you finished with your report? Let me ask that. I think we still have some more to move.
I believe so, because I do not see other speakers, so I don't want to commit them if they're not here. But yeah, I'm done.
And just
Okay.
to add in briefly.
Go ahead, Bridget.
Thank you. Just to add another report, this does include the commitment by Congressman Garamendi to split the rent on both headquarters. But we have spoken with Assemblymember Wilson, who said she was interested in helping, as well as the Jewish Democratic Club of Solano County. I think they were going to meet and discuss helping as well.
I would like to add on Assemblymember Wilson that I just received a text that she has committed to $1,500 to be used in support of the November elections, whether via mailing, flyers, or headquarters.
I have a question for Dawn. Michelle.
I'm sorry, can we make sure that we are raising our hands and being recognized by the chair first before we start talking over one? It's a little confusing for me because I'm still trying to run this on Zoom. So let's not forget the protocol. That's just the first thing I'm asking. So the hand that I saw up on the screen was Steve Young's.
So my question is, on the 3 months of the lease term, is this going to run from, say, August 8th to November 8th?
August, oh, go ahead.
I was going to say roughly August 15th to November 15th.
Okay. Yeah. I just didn't want to start it too soon before we're ready and make sure it got through the election day. Okay. Thank you.
All right. The next hand I saw after that is down now. Okay. Anybody else have any questions for Dawn and Bridget regarding the headquarters? Please raise your hand to be recognized.
And if I may make one more comment on the report. I believe Dawn attempted to raise this earlier regarding the fact that Margie has mentioned that our insurance is due for renewal in August. And so we need to authorize the amount also for our insurance renewal.
Okay.
And that's $800 usually.
Right. Paula, your hand is up, and then Calvin.
Yeah, I'm wondering what kind of furniture we have in our storage unit that we have to populate these two offices with.
Okay, I can respond to that. So we have some long tables, the long 6-foot tables. We have a good amount of chairs to go with those. If you were at the previous headquarters, everything that was at the previous headquarters is at our storage unit. And for the southern headquarters, though, I believe Tom mentioned he also had 33 chairs that could be used down there.
Actually, I can commit a total of 60 because I have 30 that are actually at the building, 33 that are at the building, and I have another 30 here at the house. Just I'll need help getting them there because they're a little heavy.
Got it. So it sounds like we won't need chairs in the south, but we can share the tables that we have, definitely.
And then I also, at our meeting, I committed to donating, not donating to the committee, but donating for use, a large format printer fax machine.
And we have one in the headquarters as well, in the storage unit for the north as well.
Cool.
Paula, your hand is still up. I wanted to recognize you.
Oh, sorry.
I voted for you though.
You're good.
Okay. All right. Any other questions, comments, or discussion around the headquarters? So it looks like the amount that has been presented to us that the Central Committee would be responsible for funding for both the northern headquarters located at 2480 Hilborn Road in Fairfield, Suite 104, and the space in Southern Solano County, Vallejo, specifically at 600 Main Street. There's going to be a cost to the Central Committee of $7,500. The ask is $7,500 to include the space rental as well as utilities and all those things that come with it, as well as I heard $800 for the additional insurance that we will be responsible to produce to run both of these headquarters. So we're looking at close to about, was it 80, 90? 85, close. My math is very bad.
If
A
I
little over
may.
$8,000.
Okay,
Yes, go ahead,
83.
Bridget.
Thank you. If as correct as Vernil just stated, and following my earlier conversation with Assemblymember Wilson as well, if she's committing $1,500, then that reduces the Central Committee's cost to $6,000 out of pocket.
Okay. And in the event that we, and I just want to, hold on, let me just make a quick comment, just, okay. So we're looking at a total cost that has been presented to the Central Committee, and I saw Alex and Calvin's hand. I'll get to you in a second. Let me finish the statement. I just want to be very clear. So we are asking that the Central Committee produce $8,300 for the operation of 2 headquarters in Northern Solano County and Southern Solano County for our general election activities. I just want to make sure I got that correct.
My understanding is after the $1,500 from Assemblymember Wilson, that would be $6,800 total, including the insurance. And we have put an ask to Senator Dodd. We just have not heard back from him yet.
Okay. So, Alex, I see your hand up, and then Mr. Harrell, I see your hand up. Go ahead, Alex. You're being recognized.
Thank you, Tiffany. So I just have I have clarifying questions that I hope anyone can answer. So whether it's 6,000 or 7,500, can someone clarify if this is a per month cost? That's number one. And then number two, if the overall goals of having these 2 headquarters can be restated, would be really helpful. And then the third question is around staffing. And I'm particularly concerned around staffing in Vallejo. So we'd just love to get some more clarity from anyone on the call on what the plan is around that.
I can speak to the funding. That is not per month, that is total cost. And Dawn and I think both can speak to the benefits. I know in the North, we have many competitive races that are not Dem on Dem, so it's very important. And I'm sure the South has equal reasons that they can speak to. Dawn, do you want to speak to that?
Well, I think that it's for each region to discuss and what races that the Central Committee gets involved in. And we're working on whether it's the local races, provides a convenient place for endorsed candidates to use as a staging area. It also allows us to gather Democrats together for our efforts to phone on behalf of statewide races, as well as potentially getting involved in federal races in other parts of the country that I know many of our members are concerned about. So it provides that base of operations for the party in northern or southern Solano, depending. And the staffing, customarily, we have staffed it with volunteers. We've asked club members as well as available Central Committee members who can schedule time to be present and make sure the space is open, particularly when we are staging phone banks and neighborhood canvases out of it. And then the final point while I'm speaking, I would just say that the insurance is almost a separate issue altogether, because we will need insurance regardless to protect us from liability. And the rate will be the same whether it's 1 headquarters or 2 that we get from the state party. So yes, it's a cost, but it's one that we should be bearing regardless of whether or not we approve the headquarters.
Exactly. That is the cost for our annual insurance. So that covers everything the Central Committee does in a year, including events, rallies, anything. So that is a regular cost of operation for the Central Committee. So it shouldn't necessarily be bundled in. It just needs to be done because it expires in August. So that's important. Also, as I mentioned, Margie has told us that she's ordered 68,000 door hangers that are free from the party, but we get them printed with our local candidates on them. And those can be divided up and sent to our local headquarters where they can be walked from there. So that is a great other use for headquarters as well. Dawn, anything further?
I think that covers it.
Oh, and also Congressman Garamendi traditionally sends some of his campaign staff to help out with both of the headquarters. So we can usually count on him helping out somewhat as well.
Go ahead, Calvin, I'm sorry.
Quite all right. I'm asking regarding, I'm not sure if you guys can hear me. I'm asking specific to contingencies in the event that funding does not come or from whatever sources are out there. You're running, it's running skinny in my opinion. So what are the contingencies for that? Do we have reserves that will pick up $3,000 in costs, $5,000 in costs if that comes along?
Bridget or Dawn, the question.
Now, we've historically done this without any overages whatsoever over the past 10 years. So I'm not quite sure exactly about what other overages you might be thinking. But Dawn, do you want to speak to that?
I will simply just point that we have done significant outreach this cycle to reduce the Central Committee's exposure by getting, in addition to our usual donors, other support from additional candidates and electeds to support this. And quite frankly, we have, as we have done in the past, we will probably look at scheduling some small dollar fundraisers for the fall to make sure that we're not taxing our resources to the fullest.
Thank you.
Okay, I see. Thank you. I see Vernil and then Tom's hand, and then Monica.
My question is in the same vein as Calvin Harrell. What is our treasury? What is our bank balance?
The treasurer is not on call right now.
Okay. And did we ever decide which side of the house?
So it may come back to the committee or send an email out.
Because I remember there was a
usually
question
comes from.
Okay.
You're breaking up, so I didn't catch it. Sorry.
Can that Treasury report be given from the last meeting? That would give us a baseline. The balance in the account based on the reporting of the last meeting's findings.
Perhaps one of the board members has the report?
I'm looking to see if I can get an email. Give me a moment.
The June 22 Treasurer's Report that was submitted to us shows a full balance of $14,087, which is split $7,000 in the state account and $7,000 in the federal account. So we're about 50-50 in each one.
Okay, sorry, my connection's bad, so I had to turn my video off for a second because all y'all were jumbled up. I saw Monica Brown's hand up, and then I also saw Tom Bilbo's hand being up.
Okay, so my commitment always has been that I buy a lot of the junk food for each headquarters. I have no problem if there is some sort of overage based on what's here, that there are quite a few of us who will be willing to put in some money. So money should not be the issue. The group that put this together did a great job, have a lot of different commitments. And this is why in the off years, which are the odd years, we're always asking for extra money so that we don't have this big jump. So please do not concern yourself. There are some of us who can write that check if there's an issue. Okay?
Go ahead, Tom.
Okay, yeah. So I'm sorry, I had to raise that hand. I was just going to say the other thing. So we had talked about in the committee meeting that we're going to be asking. There's 3 questions about whether or not we have a headquarters in the time of COVID and everything else. Plus, there's also the questions regarding the overall, which if we have both headquarters, and then there's the question of expense. And we had said in the meeting that we would ask for authorization of up to 7,500 or above based on what came back. So I'm just going back to what we said in the meeting, so that we can, in the committee meeting, so that the amount that we're authorizing is up to, not a total spend. Also, the other thing is in the Vallejo headquarters, that atrium space can be utilized for any kind of gathering or event that we want to have for like election night. And it looks like there could be one also for the northern side on and there. So that could be 2 potential fundraisers.
Both have locations that events can be held in.
Yeah, so we can actually make money at these locations.
Okay, thank you, Tom. Calvin, and then my hand is up.
I'm a little concerned when I'm told not to worry about X when we're asked to vote on X. I can appreciate the ability for individuals to contribute to the campaign. Is that contribution commitment being put in writing and provided to the organization so that they can make a phone call and it happen? Or are we going to be, going in circles to find out who's going to pay this extra $5,000, $2,000, whatever it might be? But I'm a little put off by the comment.
I could speak to Wanda Williams that she has put it in writing for you, and I think that's why she raised her hand to commit $1,500.
Is correct.
And John Garamendi, of course,
Wanda,
as well.
did you want to respond?
Yes, I did put my commitment in writing. This is, my commitment is solid.
Thank you, Wanda.
Thank you. And my hand is up because, again, just kind of piggybacking off of what Calvin said, and as far as we getting stuff put in writing, and I'm putting on my other hat because I was a little concerned when I heard my member's name being brought up as a partner with the headquarters. And to my knowledge, the only conversation that she has had has been with Vernil, but not in reference to a headquarters. And so again, we're lumping assumptions and don't have anything in writing. And as a committee, we have to stop doing this because business is business. And we need to be very clear about who is responsible for what, and making sure that we get these agreements and things in writing so that in the event that something happens, we know who's responsible for what. That's just doing good business and keeping it clean and honoring our partnerships and our commitments to not only our constituents, Democrats here, but honoring our relationships with our elected officials. And so I want to make that very clear. Again, now we're back to the conversation. We're still going to be at a deficit. Thank you, Monica, or any other club that wants to donate to making sure that we can pull this off. But again, we, as a business person, and as a business organization, we should get stuff put in writing. And Monica, I see your comment in the chat. I get it. We do things because we have relationships, but we should be doing this in writing because we wouldn't have this situation.
And if I may respond to Tiffany?
Vernil, saw your hand was up. Yes, go ahead.
This is Vernil. I do have a text from Assemblymember Wilson saying that she will give $1,500, and it's our choice whether it's for the mailings, for the flyers, or headquarters, because I understand even when we get those door hangers, we have to pay for the printing. Is that true?
They're printed with the statewide elect nominees, and then we add in our locals, but that doesn't cost a lot. That's maybe 1,000, 2,000 tops.
That's still in to go in the budget though.
Yes, it is an expense.
Mhm.
And just responding
Okay, so
to
she's now
Tiffany.
saying, hold on, Bridget. So the member is saying that she's now going to just give $1,500 as a flat out donation?
Yes. I have the
Okay.
I have the
And we
text. I
could
have the
do-
text.
Okay. Go ahead, Bridget.
Okay, so just responding to Tiffany, when I spoke with Lori, she said that she could not speak with you, Tiffany, directly because she thought it was a violation because you're her district staff, but that she was then going to contact Vernil afterwards to go over it further. So Vernil has the last information.
Okay, she just presented that to us. Perfect.
Mhm.
All right. Any other questions, discussion? We need to move forward to a vote. I don't see any other hands. Do you see any other hands? Vernil? All right. Tom, because this came from committee, we can go ahead and launch said polls.
Okay, so the first
We have a
poll
motion?
is, it doesn't need one because it came from committee. So, and we had discussed in the meeting what the motions would be. And the first motion is whether or not to have a headquarters giving COVID cases and everything else. So that is the first poll you'll see. And that determines whether or not we get the other polls. Okay.
And again, for those that came on a little later, if your person is on that you're voting for, you're the alternate, you can't vote. But if your person is not here and you're the alternate, you can go ahead and vote.
So Tiffany, are we going to have any discussion on this?
We just ended discussion. What's going on, Michelle?
Well,
we had a 40-minute discussion on headquarters.
I know, but this is a particular thing we're voting on. That's what I'm addressing. You know, so if we're voting on something, then that's what the discussion would be, the exact thing. And I think that what we should do is, I'm in favor of a headquarters, but if we take precautions for COVID, you know, like wearing masks mandatory, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I think that could be a discussion after we do this, because there's going to be a couple of polls. And so that's definitely something we definitely want to have a conversation around structure of what that's going to look like. I agree with you 100%, Michelle. That was my first concern. Like, how are we going to proceed with these? If the committee votes to have the headquarters, so that's the first vote that we're doing right now.
Yeah, I'm just
And
saying.
if the committee says,
maybe
yeah, so if the committee
order,
go ahead. Sorry.
Maybe it's just a question of order, Tiffany, because I will vote for the headquarters if we have strong COVID protections. Otherwise, I won't. So that's why I brought it up now.
If I may speak to that from the headquarters committee, that was always going to be a given with the headquarters. That's why we mentioned in the report that the location, I know in the north and probably in the south, has strong COVID protections. There are gloves available, sanitation stations, masks available, and we will require that all people coming in be vaccinated. So I think that was a part of what we were trying to say in our report. Thank you, Michelle.
Yeah, thank you. That's good.
Yeah.
So the poll is
so
up.
we're in the middle of a vote. So yeah, the poll is still running. Calvin, hand is up.
Somebody can tell me where. Somebody can tell me where to deliver 2,000 masks. I'll donate 2,000 masks.
We'll send you the addresses.
Okay, well,
thank you.
Thank you. Has everybody voted?
Still some votes coming in.
Okay.
Okay.
About 30 more seconds.
Shall we end it? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Ending it at the 3-minute mark. The There we go. Sharing results. So it passes 19 votes yay, 3 votes nay, 2 votes abstain.
All right, good job, Democrats. So we will go ahead and proceed with the next couple of polls. We will be opening our headquarters in both the northern part of the county at 2480 Hillborn Road, Suite 104, and in Vallejo, our southern part, 600 Main Street. All right. Is there any other portions of this report for headquarters that we need
Sorry,
to vote
I thought
on?
we had votes, separate votes on the headquarters.
Yeah, there'll be 2 separate questions for each headquarters. Is that right, Don?
That was my understanding, so that people could
Yeah.
vote on one or both.
Okay, are we ready?
Yes. Sorry, you guys. We're voting on the headquarters now, northern or southern. So I don't know which one's coming up first. Oh, they're open. Perfect. All right, so the poll's been launched. Thank you, Tom, for doing this.
A lot better than a spreadsheet. So I think we've got everyone has voted. We have 25 votes. So I'm gonna go ahead and end the poll. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go. So we have a headquarters in both locations.
All right. Perfect. Thank you so much, everybody, for your hard work from the headquarters committee. The next communications will be coming from the headquarters committee in regards to staffing and all that wonderful stuff. I'm excited. We're going to finally have a headquarters in 2022. Yay!
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you all.
All right.
We're not done.
Thank you all.
Tiffany.
I know we're not done.
We got the expenses.
We're never done.
No, we got the expenses.
I know we're never done.
So do we go, Don and Bridget, do we go with the expenses as outlined just so that we have buffer?
I think we should, because this does not include the insurance unless we're doing a separate vote for the insurance.
I have a separate vote for insurance because that is not a headquarters specific expense.
Yeah, it's a cost of
So
doing
it's
business
gonna
for the
be
central committee.
I would recommend
So-
voting for the upper amount just so that we set a
Okay.
cap.
Right.
Was that the 8,300? Was that the 8,300, Bridget and Don?
No, it would be 7,500.
75 and then the
we have
800
another poll.
is separate.
Separate.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a separate poll.
Okay. I just want to make sure we're clear.
It's not 7,500 anymore.
No, but that's what the committee brought that forward. So this is we're voting for up to 7,500 in case any commitments do not come in.
Oh, okay.
Okay, here comes the poll. Okay, we got 25 people voting. Soon everyone who wanted to vote has voted. Will be in 30 seconds. All right, we get to spend money on this.
Okay,
so the
thank
next
you.
poll will be the insurance.
And that's $800 to be clear.
Yep. Oh, let me put that in there. Sorry.
I would suggest a friendly amendment, $800 or such amount as necessary to acquire property insurance from the party.
I'd support that.
Was that to have property insurance or to have?
No, it's
insurance?
just the insurance. It
Yeah,
covers
they
everything.
have,
No.
they have two rates. One's general liability, one is liability plus property.
It's 800 plus whatever. He's allowing just in case it's gone up.
Yeah. Okay. I just want to make sure I heard the word correctly. All right.
That says have property.
You want me to stop it, or do we want to just understand it because it's all on video recording?
Hey, Tiffany, did you see the comments in chat about our guest, Adam? He needs to leave.
Michelle, yes, I did, and I responded in the chat. My screen is running a little slower because my internet connection is failing. So I did see that. As soon as we move through with this vote, I will make an adjustment to the prescribed agenda so that he can go ahead and speak and we can move on with our business.
Okay, thanks.
Thank
right.
you.
I think so. Does anyone else want to vote? Because there's only 24 out of 24 people, but so there's one missing.
Tom, go ahead and close it. Whoever needs to
tried
vote,
to vote.
Apple them up.
This is Dave. I tried to vote, but apparently it won't take my vote. I'm not sure.
Can you put it in the chat?
Yeah.
Yes, I tried to vote yes.
Yeah, so just put it in the chat if you had a problem, because I did just stop the poll and I can't relaunch it without redoing everyone's vote. So if you want to record your vote, put it in the chat, say insurance, yay, nay, abstain. And so just so you know, all the chat and everything is saved off. So we have it. Okay, so just based on the poll, it passes with 23 votes plus whatever is in chat.
All right. Thank you. There was only one in the chat. Thank you, Dave. Sorry about the technical issues. All right. Thanks, everyone. We're going to make a slight adjustment to the agenda as prescribed. Plus, it's getting really, really late and we need to move through. And so we do have a guest speaker tonight that's going to be talking about tribal gaming. And I know that was something that Paula Bauer and Monica Brown have something to add to in regards that came down from the executive board meeting. And so I would like our guest speaker, Adam Seiden, to come before us. We'll give you 3 minutes to kind of talk to us about what the tribal gaming is, and then we will move forward with the report out from Monica as well as Paula. So sorry about that. Thank you, sir.
I think he had to leave.
Yeah, he's not in the chat, or he's not in the meeting.
I got the impression from what he wrote that he would look forward to doing it next month.
Okay, I'm just catching up on the chat. Sorry, y'all. Trying to run all the meeting and monitor the chat is a little more difficult right now. All right, so let's go ahead and just go back to the agenda as prescribed. Endorsement meeting, President Lowry, Chair Lowry.
Well, looks like someone else needs to coordinate the endorsement process. I guess there's, thank goodness for small favors. We already are getting a number of Democrats who are filing, so we do need to schedule our endorsement meeting or meetings and then send out the questionnaire and invite them to attend. I want to get feedback from the membership because I don't know about you, but the last cycle's marathon meeting that went from felt like dawn until well after dark was excruciating. I don't know if we want to do another 10-hour marathon, but I want to get feedback from the members about how they want to set up the endorsements, given that we will be hearing from all potentially candidates in all cities and school boards, plus any local ballot measures that are coming before us. So feedback, please.
Okay, raise your hand if you'd like to provide feedback. Go ahead, Tom.
I would just like to suggest that we have 2 meetings instead of one big long one. One focusing on city council candidates and the other focusing on our city council and supervisor candidates. So actually, no, never mind. We don't need a supervisor. City council and candidates, and then school board candidates and ballot measures. 2 separate meetings, dividing them that way, unless there's some other candidates or offices that we need to be concerned with. That's my suggestion.
Okay, Monica Brown, you're recognized.
I have no problem with what you mentioned, Tom, but I also think we need to have a coming to Jesus moment with all the clubs that, you know, Northern clubs, United, Stonewall, Progressives don't each have to have their own. There might be some way that we can consolidate that also, or maybe just say it's going to be the dividing it up as Tom stated, and it'll just be the central committee, which people then can ask questions with the club, something, because it got way out of hand. And so if you're looking at all school board, I mean, I was looking at Travis, there's like 4 people running plus the 2 incumbents for just one district. And so I don't know how to make it, but maybe if a club shows it, then maybe we can see that. I don't know, guys, but when you're running for office and you're working, which many folks have to work during the day, and then you're out on your evening instead of being with your constituents, what do we really get? We might even just say, if you're the only Democrat in a sea of Republicans, you either automatically get it or you don't, but something. This business of filling out all these questionnaires and having somebody come with a form, how many people actually go and have not made up their mind? So I think we need to have some sort of a discussion even that way. What do we really get out of it?
Okay, Ian, and then Tom, I saw your hand fly back up.
Yeah, sort of the law of unintended consequences when we went to the even year elections only. The last couple of times it's been just brutal, long days, and folks have dropped out before the vote has been held. I know with some other organizations I've belonged to, the process is a little bit different. you have a committee or a series of committees that interviews the candidates for certain offices. And then the committee makes a recommendation, and that recommendation can either be upheld by the entire group, or there can be a vote by the entire group. That seems to go a lot more smoothly.
Okay, Tom?
I just want to speak first to Monica's statement. I agree that perhaps what we have is we tell the clubs that if you have questions from your members, bring them to the meetings and you'll be able to ask them of these candidates. But as far as like questionnaires, I know for Stonewall, we have a very specific questionnaire which is tailored to LGBTQ rights and other things that we want answers from the candidates. So we're not going to not do our questionnaire. But I think instead of having interviews, I really like that idea, having one. And we just let the clubs, because we are now live streaming and doing things like that, we let the clubs, if their members want to watch it, they can watch that and then take it back to them. As far as like how we do this, it's very prescribed in our bylaws, so I don't think we cannot address that for this cycle. If we want to change it for going forward, that's a process that takes, I think, 3 months, and we will already be done with the election. Well, sort of. Just for that, but I like that idea, Monica. Let's have one meeting with all of them. That is the central committee, and then the clubs and the representatives like myself can bring specific questions from the clubs. But if we have them, and I think that would be marvelous.
Don?
As we've had the endless debate every single cycle, I still have to lean in favor of letting the clubs make their own endorsement decisions. I do appreciate the idea and would second the suggestion that we at least make access available to whatever our endorsement process is, to those interviews, provide a link to the clubs that they can share with their members, so they don't have to do the work themselves if they choose not to. The other point I would make, though, is given what's happened in many cycles, and especially last cycle, I would rather that we be clear that there is just one vote on endorsements, and it's a vote by the entire body, up or down, whether it's at a special meeting or a regular meeting, but that be decided ahead of time, and nobody changes the rules midstream. So I would in favor of one vote by the entire body.
Okay, Lynette. I'm sorry, Tom, your hand was still up, and then Lynette.
Yeah, I re-raised it.
Okay.
Just based on Don's comment, I want to make sure I'm clear. I never meant that my club and that any club should give up their power of endorsement, because we've already clarified that with the party and everything, that clubs can make endorsements because we serve a different set of constituents, or a specialized set of constituents that can make their own endorsements. And so just to be clear, I was not meaning that we would give up. I just meant that we would not have a parade of candidates at each of our club meetings, though actually Stonewall has already been having that, but just as an introduction. But yeah, that's all I was saying. Thanks.
Lynette, and then Pat.
Okay, thank you, Tiffany. My question is, I wasn't quite sure what Don was saying. So if we have a special meeting for endorsement, and the recommendation coming from that committee, because it's a committee, would not be brought before the central committee for a vote? Is that what you're saying?
My attitude would that would be the same as it always would be, that if it would be a special meeting of the central committee. It would not be a subcommittee or committee of the whole. It would be acting as the central committee.
And so that special meeting of the central committee would be the final say on all candidates.
If the membership agrees to hold the vote at that meeting, yes.
Okay, because that's not what our bylaws say. Our bylaws say that the endorsement committee meets and brings a recommendation to the board, to the committee of the whole. So you're asking to change that.
No, I'm not. I respectfully disagree with your interpretation, as I have every cycle.
Say that again?
I said I respectfully disagree with your interpretation, as I have done every cycle.
Okay, so then you're going to have to request a special, well, not you, but the endorsement committee would have to request a special meeting for the purpose of endorsement. And that would have to come before the executive board, unless it's a regular meeting, to approve that. Would you agree to that?
I believe that we need to decide tonight what the process is, let the membership decide, because if we're going to attempt to do anything before our regular August meeting, the membership needs to schedule it and direct the executive board accordingly.
Okay.
So that's part of why I'm asking for feedback from the members.
Okay. All right. I just wanted some clarification of what you were trying to accomplish tonight. So I would speak against that, to have the endorsement committee meet, bring their recommendation to the regular, but then we wouldn't be able to vote on those people until the end of August. Is that correct, Don?
If we are voting at our regular meeting, it's going to be at our August meeting.
It would be the August meeting.
Otherwise,
okay,
we have to schedule a special vote.
I'm good if we call for the special meeting, but let's try to do it on a Wednesday. Oh, you try to get all these candidates on a Wednesday. That's crazy. Do whatever you guys want. I just know we need to do it. And if we wait to the end of August, that would only really give us 1 month of being able to, or a month and a half to really work on candidates. Supporting those candidates that we may endorse. I don't really like doing it this way, but at this point, we're so late in the process, we probably are going to have to. Just go straight.
Okay, thank you, Pat, and then I see Tom and Michelle.
Yeah, I'd like to bring up two things. First is that I do agree that the club should continue to make their own personal endorsements, because they will then again market those particular endorsements to their area. So I don't think that should change in any way. The other point I want to make is I believe totally with what Don has said. I mean, we are all invited to attend, the voting members to attend the endorsement meeting to make our endorsement. So I don't know how that would change at a regular meeting, because we are all voting at the endorsement meeting. It seems like the end of that meeting is the final the final tally would be made. I don't know if we need to wait for anything beyond that. So I'm agreeing totally with what Don's saying. So I just wanted to add that.
Is there a I will entertain it, or I will ask Tiffany to entertain a motion from somebody to schedule something. Otherwise, it will be the e-board having to make a decision, and then you guys will have issues with it. So somebody please make a motion.
I would like to make a motion, since I think my hand is up next. I'd like to make a motion that we have 2 interview meetings that are open to the committee to come to ask questions of candidates, and then we have either a special meeting or we vote at a regular meeting of the Central Committee. But the special meeting would be a meeting of the Central Committee, not a meeting of a committee. It would be a meeting of the committee, a special meeting of the committee, or that. So we have 2 interview meetings with the candidates where they can talk and we can share that out with the clubs. Then we have a vote meeting, or we vote at our regular August meeting. But we do have some time constraints because of our bylaws. And I believe filing doesn't close until August 12th. So we can't
Actually,
do
August
anything until after
17th,
that.
if incumbents choose not to run.
The 17th.
17th. So there. So that's my motion.
Oh,
Okay, we have a motion on the floor.
I'd like to make a friendly amendment to that motion. Is this the appropriate time?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so I agree with the 2 sessions, but I think we should vote at those sessions because I think people who do not attend should not vote. And if we have another meeting just to vote, I don't think that's fair because people will then show up and they won't have heard what the other people have to say at the interview sessions. So my amendment is, yes, we have the sessions, but we vote at those sessions.
Sorry, as the maker of the motion, I do not accept that amendment.
Okay, so we are back. I see some more hands. So I see Monica Brown's hand and then Lynette's hand is still up.
If Michelle would make that a substitute motion, then I would second that, which is why I put my hand up. Michelle, would you make that a substitute motion?
Yeah.
So I would add that as the substitute motion to the main motion because we have had this in the past where people don't come and then they vote. And I think that's a disservice to those of the folks who stayed there. And I think you should vote right after you've heard everybody so it's fresh. So people don't go out and hear from somebody that would change their mind. I have a real hard time with. So that would be what I would put on the floor is second what Michelle stated. And that would then, if it passes, would be it would be embedded in the main motion.
If the substitute, maybe Lynette can clear this up. If you do a substitute motion, doesn't that replace the original motion?
Yes, but the goal is to, so is your substitute motion that we're still going to have it divided into 2 groups, like one would be city council, one, okay. So if that's it, plus how we vote, then you're right. Then I don't need to say anything other than the substitute motion. If the substitute motion passes, it becomes the main motion, and then we would vote on that.
So I'm not quite sure if I'm doing this or
so
not.
We have.
So the motion on the floor now is Michelle's motion to vote at the 2 possible meetings that were made in the original motion. Is that correct, Michelle?
That's right.
Okay. So if we approve Michelle's substitute, which is to vote it at each meeting, then that would become part of the main motion. And the rest of Tom's motion would be in place to have 2 meetings, but we would vote at each of those meetings. Because that was part of Tom's original motion, am I correct?
As the maker of the second of the substitute motion, that is my understanding, yes.
Okay. So
Lynette, here's the deal. Lynette, here's the deal that I don't get. So my substitute motion basically says we vote at the meeting. Tom's motion says we have a whole other meeting to vote. So
yeah, no, yours would cancel his out. Michelle.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
No problem.
All right, and we have one more hand up, Ian, and then I would like to get a vote going so that we can go ahead.
Answering that, I just want to go back to at the end of these motions, once this is done, about the issue of endorsements from local clubs, because I want to clarify what that means, where they can make those additional endorsements. Okay, so when we finish all this, just come back to me, please. So you're on Michelle's motion right now.
So my question was regarding the substitute motion and Tom's initial motion. Did Tom's initial motion get a second?
No.
No.
So then Tom's motion dies for lack of a second, and then there's a new motion, or the ability to have a new motion.
The substitute motion is what's voted on first before we get to Tom's motion.
That's right.
But Tom's motion died for lack of a second.
We didn't go through with the motion yet. Nobody's voted.
You guys,
And nobody second. I will withdraw my motion. How about that?
Okay, so now the motion has been withdrawn by Tom, and we are back to the substitute motion that was made by Michelle. Lynette, I'm sorry, your hand is still up. You have something to say?
Yes, I want you to come to me after we finish this.
Okay. All right.
The next corner maker, right?
So it's been moved and seconded, or excuse me, it has been a motion to, forgot the Michelle, I completely forgot your motion because there's been so much talk around the endorsement. So if you don't mind restating that for the record, and then we'll get a second and then take a vote on that, please.
Sure. So
thank you.
Absolutely. I move that we have 2 sessions for endorsements divided however Tom said. So I think it was city council candidates, and then in one session, everyone else in the second session. And we vote at those sessions, and people who vote have to attend the sessions.
Okay.
And I second that. This is Monica Brown for the record.
Okay. I see Karen Rogers' hands up. Hold on. I saw Karen Rogers' hand fly up. I want to recognize.
Okay, thank you, Tiffany. My question is, when you talk about city council, are you talking about city councils for all of the clubs that are in SCDCC in terms of voting on those city council candidates?
It's all city council, all 7 cities.
Okay.
So
That's
all
what I
7
mean.
cities, right. So one day or afternoon, whatever, would be just city council. And then the next one, whatever that would happen, would be school board plus the local measures.
Got it.
Right.
Okay. That's a
And
clarification I needed.
Okay, thank you. So it's been moved and seconded. Let's go ahead and launch the poll for a vote, and then we'll move to Lynette's comment. I'm sorry, what?
Can I just read the poll before I launch it to make sure I got it characterized correctly? So
absolutely
SCDC shall have 2 meetings. Shall have 2 meetings for candidate interviews and vote at each meeting on candidates presented.
How about at the conclusion?
Can't put a time frame on there because I can come in and vote for who I want to on the list. I don't have to hear anybody.
Okay, yeah.
That's always been an option.
Okay, so here in chat, just verify this.
Okay, Michelle, can you verify that? Tom dropped it in the chat just so we have the correct wording so that we can get this vote.
Yeah, I'm reading it right now.
Okay, thank you. Karen, did you have anything else you needed to ask or question? Because your hand is still up.
Okay, it needs a little wordsmithing, but it's
no, thank you.
Yeah, it's fine. Was interviewed. It's just like it 2 meetings for candidate and voted.
Okay, you need to delete the conclusion because that abdicates my opportunity. Anybody that wants to come and vote, they don't have to be there for the whole meeting. They can vote at any time. They don't have to have here through the interviews.
Well,
they can come at the end.
Or have a time certain that the conclusion will occur. Because I may not want to sit through and listen to these people. I may already have my candidate, and that's who I want to vote for.
I think the idea is that people listen to the candidates before they vote.
Yeah, that is the idea. But you don't have. But you can't tie my hands as a voting member and say I have to sit through that. I can vote. I don't advocate my right to vote. And by saying I have to be there till the conclusion, and the conclusion could be at any time, I'm abdicating my right to vote.
And Lynette is correct. So just take the word conclusion out. You can come vote that day. You don't have to listen to everybody. That's true.
Okay, so but wait, I'm gonna bring this back. We're doing this via Zoom. We can't relaunch polls.
Oh, that's right.
Right.
So that doesn't, now, unless we want to use a Google form to have people vote, that we can do it that way, and that's separate. But we can't do it on Zoom.
Yeah, so can I, for the purpose of this, because it's 9 o'clock and we've been beating this horse since 7 o'clock and we have a whole agenda to move through. Can we just vote on this matter, and then the committee, whoever our chair appoints, can go ahead and work out the specifics around Zoom, and or if we're going to do this in person?
I don't have a problem with that. If you want to take the word conclusion out so we don't have an issue and let the chair figure it out, that's fine. To the maker of the motion, is that okay?
Okay, so there has been.
That's fine. That's fine.
Okay, and it's been dropped in the chat. So does that suffice for what we need to get done right now?
Yes.
Okay, all parties agree. Michelle?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, guys. All right, Tom, this is the language for the poll.
Mm-hmm. It's not open. The poll isn't
It's
open.
not open yet.
Yeah, I'm having
and Dave. Yeah, and Dave, if you're having issues with the poll, still remember you can still vote in the chat. Okay, it'll still record it, and that's for anybody that's having difficulty with the poll once it's launched. Please just make sure you record your vote in the chat.
Thank you. Thank you. I thought the poll had been launched and I just couldn't see it.
No worries. You're welcome.
But just to clarify, I added the word measures for ballot because that's what we're voting on, not ballots. So here comes the poll.
All right.
Somewhere. There we go.
So Tom, just for the record, there are 2 votes in the chat, both one from Monica and one from Dave, both saying yes.
Right.
Again, if you don't have access to the poll or it's doing some weird stuff, just drop your vote in the chat. 30 more seconds. We'll wrap this up.
Mm-hmm. I do have a request in my report that we need to vote on tonight so that we can continue having web services. So, and
let's just get through it.
Yeah, I just want to make sure you know.
Thank you.
Okay.
I did see that.
So it is passed. There we go.
All right. Lynette, did you still want to speak on the endorsement portion? Your hand is still up. Lynette? Lynette? All right, we're gonna move on. Still. All right. Try game. Paula and or Monica, board report from executive board meeting.
We sent out an email about the executive board, and it had to do with basically Prop 26, Prop 27. If you get a chance, read through that. I can send out more information. So through Tom in another week or so as to what went down, and we'll get a chance to touch base with Adam and see what he had to say, and we'll get it sent out to you guys. We're not voting right now, so that'll help just to move move it through, because Tom has something we need to vote on.
Tiffany,
Right.
I'm
Thank you,
finally off
Don.
of, I'm finally off of mute. Go ahead, Don.
I was just going to say, once Lynette's done, in the interest, can we move and deal with only the remaining action items tonight, given the hour?
So I just want to thank
I
you,
agree.
Don. So Tiffany, well, not just Tiffany, I want to be clear. If you are a club, we have in the past allowed you to disagree with the Central Committee's endorsements if you want to make your own. But as a club, you cannot make an endorsement that is different than the state parties. So I'll say that again. You can disagree with the county committee's endorsements, but you cannot disagree with the state party's endorsements. That will jeopardize your charter if you should choose. So say that I was, I'm running against Mike Thompson, and I'm a Democrat. You can't, and the party has endorsed Mike Thompson. You can't then say my club wants to endorse Lynette Henley. You will lose your charter for that. Those are grounds for losing your charter. I just wanted to put that out there before we go further down the road. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so there are one more action item in regards to our information resource officers report. Go ahead, Tom.
Yes, so our bill for Nation Builder is due. The price did go up. It is $336 for the year. I would ask the committee approve that invoice so we can continue to have website service for our committee.
So moved.
Okay, Ian.
Okay.
So moved. Yeah.
I second it.
Okay. All right, thank you. It's been moved and seconded by Ian and Monica. Go ahead and launch the poll for the vote. Thank you. And while the poll is being launched, in the interest of time, all reports were actually emailed to all members of the Central Committee. And so if you have any further questions, comments, or concerns, please contact those clubs directly. Same with our elected officials that have provided reports to the Central Committee. Again, if we have a question around those, please contact either those reps and or our elected officials directly. The poll has been launched. We'll give you 30 seconds to vote. And those that cannot access the poll, please drop your response in the chat so that we can record it.
Okay, looks like everyone has voted. We end it in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Okay.
All right,
we still have a
motion.
website. Thanks.
All right, thank you. All right. That is Mr. Lowry. Is it okay if we go ahead and motion to accept the motion to adjourn?
It's still your meeting. So
I second.
Okay. I just want to make sure. All right.
To adjourn.
Get out of
here. All right, hold on.
Get out of here.
Folks.
Wait, let's just say goodbye and we're done.
Y'all beat this horse to death.
Oh, otherwise we would still be in session.
I know, but it's just When I run my meetings, I just say goodbye and everybody goes. And if somebody objects, let them just say
Okay,
something.
well, the sooner you vote, you can say goodbye and leave.
I did. Bye.
There's a second part to the motion about adjourning in a moment of silence.
Thank you, Tiffany.
Thank you. Good night, everyone. Congratulations,
thank you.
everybody.
Be well.
Thank you. You guys have
Good
a
night,
great
Tom
night.
Boy. Good night, Aaron. Good night, Mary Ellen. Good night, Jim Bob.
Here you go with the Mary Ellen stuff again.
Great job, Tiffany.
All right. Thank you. No
Walter.
problem. Appreciate y'all for bearing with us. I guess once the poll is launched, we can end the recording as well.
Oh,
all right.
It was long.
Thank you all. Have a great night. See you guys next month.
Bye.
All right. Can we stop the live?
Yeah, you want to stay on?
No,
end the
I
meeting.
just stopped the recording.
Yeah, I'm just going to end the meeting.
Oh, it'll end? Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, Tom. Thanks again.
Yeah, I know. And now I can't get to the dang end meeting.